Oh, hey guys. Didn't see you there. Really? Anyway, for those of you wondering, we're actually gonna go finally watch some footage I shot during Pete Laro's uh, Oregon 2022 charters. This is the Albany and Eastern, and I shot with two separate lenses. I shot one with the normal Nikkor lens I normally shoot with, but I also shot with some anamorphic lenses that I rented from Lens Rentals. I've sat on the footage for a couple of years now. I could say that it's because a buddy of mine, Chris Nolan, he had a little art house film, didn't do too well at the box office. Little art film called Oppenheimer, didn't do too well. It was a mix of both 4x3 shots for IMAX and of regular 16:9, and some people didn't like the way it was cropped. So, just to give you a forewarning, preserve the artistic vision that I actually shot this with. You will see some cuts between 16:9 and anamorphic in this. So, when there are black bars at the bottom and the top, that is how it's supposed to be. Just warning you right now. That is how it's supposed to be. So don't adjust it. So hope you guys like it. I know it's a little odd, it's a little off. So please enjoy this. And with that, let's get into it. Hey guys, it's a big deal. And today we return to Oregon and follow up finally with our second half of our trip to Oregon. For the first part of this journey, check out our video 2 days on the Oregon coast, where we partake in a journey along the Oregon Coast Scenic Railroad alongside the Pacific Ocean. For the next 2 days, though, we'll put in the floppy disks to our trusty Apple IIs and finally complete the Oregon Trail, ending in the Willamette Valley. For these 2 days, we'll ride the rails of the Albany and Eastern, the operator of a network of former Oregon Electric Railway, a subsidiary of the Spokane, Portland, and Seattle, and Southern Pacific lines. We'll be focusing on the former Southern Pacific's Mill City branch, and while we won't be going to the line's terminus, we'll be heading northeast out of Lebanon up this branch nearly the 25 miles up the Santiam River on the first day. On the second day, we'll head west from Lebanon towards Albany along the old Southern Pacific connection before performing more action in the downtown area. Our primary power for this journey is the Santa Maria Valley number 205, a 1924 built Baldwin 262 Prairie type locomotive. This locomotive was originally built for the San Joaquin and Eastern Railroad and is a catalog locomotive, not a custom-built locomotive that many a railroad would typically order. Even so, the 205 came with custom modifications such as 49-inch drivers and a Vanderbilt tender instead of the normal rectangular cistern. After its stint on the SJ&E, the 205 migrated across the Coast Range to the Santa Maria Valley Railway, where it would serve the rest of its steam-era career. While there, its Vanderbilt tender was swapped with the 100 that would eventually end up performing stints on Arizona's White Mountain Scenic Railroad and Utah's Wasatch Mountain Railroad, better known as the Heber Creeper. The 205 ended on display at the Santa Barbara County Fairgrounds in Santa Maria from 1950 until 1983, when it was purchased by a private individual and brought north to Oregon. From 1983 until 2015, the locomotive underwent a slow restoration to service before finally coming to the Albany and Eastern to power its Santiam excursion train on the Sweet Home branch. Join us as we venture out on the first day up the Mill City branch. We start at dawn outside of Lebanon, as fog covers the skies as we perform a couple run-bys near Whitaker. On the drawbar of the 205 are 2 flat cars hauling recently felled logs from the nearby woods. Before heading to the sawmill, they'll be with us along the branch line for the day. We venture further up the Mill City branch to the historic Gilkey Covered Bridge, where it and the railroad leap over Thomas Creek just north of Crabtree. This bridge was built in 1939 and added to the National Register of Historic Places in 1987. We've taken on water at a nearby industry, and are now in the deepening valley along the cliff faces along the Santiam River between Sladen and Lyons.
Let me know when you guys want me to make it stop.
I told them to stop under the branch.
That'll be a good spot right there. Under the branch.
Under the branch.
Yep. I don't want to get the shadow too much.
Later in the afternoon, we're in one of the many pastoral fields north of Lebanon, where we catch the 205 steaming with the log train northward. The next morning awakens us once again to a thick layer of fog covering the Willamette Valley, and we see the prairie locomotive materialize out of the ether. This time, we're just west of Lebanon, located on the line that connects this railroad to the national network at Albany. Our log cars have been swapped for vintage boxcars of the late steam era, including a recently repainted, outside braced Southern Pacific boxcar. Back in Lebanon, to help access a sawmill and the railroad shop, the line utilizes a stretch of track along Olive Street, which gives us some street running, to help keep with our period locomotive and rolling stock. Pete and the railroad have arranged with a local classic car club to line the street with vintage automobiles. Between the vintage automobiles, the rough-hewn pavement, and the older homes along this street, this could pass for a scene in Anywhere America towards the end of steam. And so, we clear for none other than a diesel-powered freight. But instead, today, it's worth taking our gaze to. Leading up this train today is an SD9 built by the Electromotive Division of General Motors in 1955 for the Southern Pacific. This 6-axle, 1,750 horsepower, 16-cylinder locomotive has been restored to its near-factory appearance, including its SP light package with a working gyro light and Black Widow paint scheme. The SD9 pulling modern freight cars provides a great juxtaposition to our period steam freight. We find the tracks crossing the Santiam River as we take in the 205 pulling the freight across the span. But once again, the Black Widow SD9 returns, usurps the stage, and now leads the period freight instead of the 205. We'll watch this Cadillac of EMD roll along the branch with the era of cars it was built for. But this is indeed a Pete Laro charter, and steam is king. And the 205 returns to its rightful place at the head of our train, where we pick it up once again for the short ride back into Lebanon. We're in historic downtown Lebanon, and we perform a few run-bys at the historic Southern Pacific Depot located here. We break for a late lunch and meet up with the 205 once again towards late afternoon in the same fields that we began the morning, albeit without the fog that hemmed in much of the Willamette Valley. And for the first time since reaching the end of the Oregon Trail in this journey, get to watch the sun setting into the horizon.
Thank you.
There's something
Unusually specific rodents.
Yeah.
Of course, then again. Quick, everybody get a picture.
More smoke! More smoke!
Less exhaust.
Hey! Hey! Hey!
George, thank you, George. George will be here all week.
Great, yes, yes, yes. No, 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 it's not working. You got to change. There you go.
Don't blame me. I voted for Kodos.
Go!
Hey, I'm not saying the pandemic was rough, but
you're here. It's the end of the video. You made it. And since you're here, you can watch one of these other videos. And if you haven't, make sure you click like and subscribe so you get more content like this in your feed. I'd like to thank you for watching. I'm Big Deal.